Well, hello, Teachbox friends. How are you? This is Amanda, and I am so excited to welcome you to your March Teachbox. Let's go ahead and open up our box. All right, password is in, and now we're going to go ahead and take a look at the March box. We have been looking forward to this box for a long time. We've been working on it for quite a while, and I think you guys are going to love it. In March, we are going to focus on legacy. So as usual, you will see our little welcome letter. We're not going to update my password there. You'll see our little welcome letter to you guys, giving you guys an update on the topic, what we're focusing on this month, some ideas and some bigger questions that you might consider when you're teaching the box. We also have a fun little video that we put together to share with you guys that you're welcome to watch. We'd love it if you guys would share it out with your community. It's just a quick 15-second promo video. I think you're going to love it. And here is this month's essential question and our 3 lessons. So this month, guys, we are focusing on how do my footprints leave a legacy? And as you know so far from being a Teachbox subscriber, we love to use essential questions because they are what drive true inquiry in the classroom. So remember, your boxes are not meant to be supplements to your, or replacements rather to your curriculum. They're meant to supplement it, to assist you in teaching the skills and the novels and the things that you already have to teach. What we're trying to offer you are questions to add to discussion that will help kids dig in a little bit deeper to the texts and curriculum that you already have in front of you, and really get kids to think and inquire and ask questions rather than just be receptacles of learning. And so footprints in this question really serve as a metaphor for action. So how do my actions, or how do the things that I've done here or do here, how does my day in, day out, the way I treat people, the things that I say, my presence in the room, how does my action, or how do my actions leave a legacy? What is my legacy here in high school? That's a question, that I think kids don't ever think about until maybe the month before graduation. And they think, wow, what did I actually do here in this school? And the truth is that they probably left a lot more footprints, a lot more marks on their school than they might even realize. And for those of you who teach the younger grades, it's really critical for them to reflect on this question early and realize that every decision they make, every person that they encounter, every conversation they have, these little things are all adding up to their legacy in high school, how they are remembered in the future, the impression that they left on their friends and their family and everybody that has to do with high school. And so this time around, we focused on 3 core lessons to help kids dig into that question. And these core lessons will match with any novel, text, or curriculum that you're currently using. In lesson 1, it lets students focus on uncovering the term legacy. It gets them in touch with some historical and maybe even fictional people who have left an important legacy on the world. And so they're going to do something called speed dating. And speed dating is, obviously, they're not going to be really dating. They're just going to use that model to meet other students who have researched historical, important people who have left a legacy. So every student in your class will receive an assignment, a person. So perhaps your class would choose, maybe you wanted to take the route of Women's History Month, and you want to assign everybody in your class an important woman from history who left a legacy. So each student would research their female person that they're in charge of, and then on the speed date day, students arrive to class in the persona of the person that they researched and ready to, quote, perform as that person, sharing that person's legacy with everybody in the class as they go through this speed dating model. So that's a really cool lesson. Again, the speed dating is the structure. Whether you use the essential question or not, The speed dating structure is outlined for you. A handout is given to you, and you can use that no matter however it fits into your curriculum. Speed dating is a great way to get kids moving around and an interesting and different way of setting up your classroom for assessment rather than just another paper. So lesson 1 is all about speed dating, but it also connects to legacy through research. This month, I added for you guys the focus skills that are in each of the lessons. So I know not everyone has time to get to every lesson every month, but if you want to use those focus skills to help you make a decision for what you might focus on that month, there you go. The second lesson is saying goodbye to our novel. So the novels that we read in class really do leave impressions on our students, and they remember things from these lessons. And so one thing that I found over the years is when I teach a novel, I feel like when we get to the end, I never really could find a great way to wrap it all up and, do the book justice. And so this I've kind of come up with recently in the past couple of years. And what we do now is we say goodbye to our novel. We write letters to the characters or to the author of the book that we've just finished. And the way that this fits into the question about legacy is that books do leave a legacy on our hearts, on our spirits, on our education. Our education is shaped through the literature that we read. And I remember when I was in high school, I remember the first time I read To Kill a Mockingbird. That left its own little legacy on my education. And so you're going to ask your students, whenever you finish a novel, this could be in March, it could be in April, it could be in May, you're going to ask your students to say goodbye to the characters or to the author of the story that you've written. So that's really nice. It's got just another writing lesson that really can be inserted anywhere in your curriculum. And then finally, this is the bigger project-based learning idea in the box. And lesson number 3, students get to determine and write about what their legacy is at the high school. So this is the most direct connection to the essential question. This is a wonderful question for students to start thinking about at the end of the year. If you're looking for a lesson to wrap up the end of the year, this lesson could turn into a much bigger project. If you'd like help working on that, please let me know. I'd be happy to help you guys build a rubric or build a project around this lesson to make it more substantial if you'd like to. But basically, kids are going to determine the legacy that they've left in their high school. They'll think about the sports that they've played, the relationships that they've built, the classes that they've taken, their GPA, things like that. And they're going to talk about and write about that legacy that they've built in high school and how they'd like to be remembered later on in their lifetime. So hopefully you guys enjoy those lessons. As usual, all the links are below. Lesson plans are first, followed by student handouts, and then there are mentor texts and PowerPoint presentations that go with every lesson this time. So there's a little bit of extra added bonuses there for you guys for your lessons. Again, I provided for you guys some literary pairings. These are some of the great novels or stories that I think really tie into the theme of legacy. So if you're trying to think about, oh man, where does this box fit in my curriculum? I thought about To Kill a Mockingbird. I thought about a lot of nonfiction. We read at my school. We read a lot of John Krakauer, Into Thin Air. We read Into the Wild. I think a lot about fairy tales and the legacy that fantasy, princesses and princes and characters from fantasy really bring to the world. We learn a lot of legends from folk tales and lessons from them. The Epic of Gilgamesh is one that comes to mind that I suggest a little bit later on in the box. Also, some great celebrities have left legacies, and that might be another really cool connection or lean into the box. So take a look through those. That might help you get some ideas. Of course, don't forget, guys, to join our Facebook group and we can talk about these together. Those are some of your ideas. And then your resource library is, I actually narrowed it down a little bit for you guys this year and provided some more detail. So the resources here are, there's a great resource here for Women's History Month. These are the 13 of the world's most influential women that you don't know yet. So women that kind of have been under the radar that are working on and currently leaving a really impressive legacy by the work that they're doing in the world right now. There's this cool website called the Footprint Calculator. And so students can click here and they can actually measure their carbon footprint and what they're leaving on the earth. So if you wanted to take that kind of literally, or maybe even use this for Earth Day, if that matters to you, students can calculate their their carbon footprint and write about it. They could make suggestions for a lifestyle change. Fairy tales, there's a really cool angle to take with this box. If you think about the legacy that fairy tale characters and Disney princesses have left behind, is usually one of helplessness and, needing a man. I think that this blog post by Annie Jackson, she's done a series of posts about the Disney princess legacy and how maybe we've got it wrong. So kind of a really interesting look on that. I also included a link to the Epic of Gilgamesh. This is a really beautiful retelling. The epic, as those of you who have taught it before would know, it's written in a virtually incomprehensible way. And this website is really beautiful the way that it's been retold, and it's all digital. So students can read the Epic of Gilgamesh. Gilgamesh is a story about a man who, in very, very short terms, he wants to lead a life and leave behind a legacy. But what ends up happening is he keeps searching for eternal life and wanting to live forever so that he can keep doing things to leave things behind. So it really ties in beautifully to this box. There's also a video here. The first video in the library is a video retelling of the Epic of Gilgamesh. There's a summary here too. This would be a really cool option, especially those of you who teach the upper grades for Gilgamesh. That's really great option for you. You can make a difference. This is a great article about how kids can make a legacy, create a powerful one while they're just in high school. Another interesting look from Forbes magazine. There's a story about a man and how he reflects on his life after, kind of having a near-death experience, about how he realized once he almost died that everything he'd been doing in his life was building his legacy. So another beautiful connection for lesson 3. And then a really cool website too about celebrities that died before the age of 30 and the legacy that they left behind. This, I know a lot of kids, especially lower level kids, they really like the celebrity news, and they might connect really well to this. Tupac is one that my kids really love, and he died young and definitely left a legacy in the hip hop world. So there he is right there, and Biggie as well. So this is a really cool website that you might use even to kick off the unit if you guys are going to use it as a full unit. Selena, another beautiful favorite of a lot of my students. So this is a great website that I think will help you guys out getting started. So with that said, just don't forget about the video library. There are 10 videos in the library. If you click here, you can kind of zoom through the 10 videos that are here. There's a song by Eminem that's really solid. It's called Legacy. Oprah talks about legacy. The national parks are an American legacy. Steve Jobs has got a Stanford address. His commencement address was really beautiful. Talks a lot about legacy. There's Walt Disney, Maya Angelou, Rosa Parks. A lot of individual people who have left legacies are on this playlist. And there's always more that I'm adding to that list. With that said, I'd like to just congratulate. Oh, sorry, we do have a bonus lesson. Students could do something artistic this month if they wanted. The bonus lesson, students are going to be creating footprints. So you can actually give them these footprints to make if you wanted to hang them up in the room and do something artsy for the end of the year. These are all different kinds of footprints. Kids could do some coloring and some decorating. If you wanted to add that to any of the lessons, you can see those are your choices. So hopefully that sounds fun to you. And I want to congratulate Ziri Lamb. Ziri is our teacher, Teachbox Teacher Spotlight. And she has got some super creative ideas, things she's doing in her classroom. She totally encapsulates everything that our Teachbox teachers are all about. So I wanted to recognize her and thank her for all of her hard work, all of her contributions, and sharing in the group. And it's just been wonderful getting to know her. And you guys can read here more about what she's been doing in her classroom and even some silly questions too. If you guys would like to be featured as our Teachbox teacher, you guys can let us know right here at the end of the box. So I hope you guys enjoy the March box. It's going to be a fun one. Please don't forget to share with us. Join our Facebook group. Find us on Twitter. Find us on Instagram. And let's share pictures and stories and all the wonderful things that our students are doing and just making this job so incredibly wonderful. Thank you guys again for being part of the Teachbox family. It is our honor writing curriculum for you and watching it happen in your classroom. We are so glad you're here. Have a wonderful March, everyone.